Opening statements and first looks at strategy in the John Goodman case. Good evening, I'm Michael Williams.
I'm Shannon and today for Kelly Dunn. Thanks so much for staying with us. The jurors selected to decide the fate of John Goodman today had the cases laid out for them by prosecuting and defense attorneys.
Both sides focused on the amount of alcohol Goodman drank the night of the crash that killed 23-year-old Scott Wilson. News Channel 5's Jay Kashmir is leading our coverage for the trial. He joins us live outside the courthouse with details. Jay?
Michael, Shannon, a big day, and it opened up right away, as you mentioned, with opening statements. Both sides coming out of the gate, really specifying that they have specific evidence that they will present in this case. Of course, it is a detailed case trying to see whether or not John Goodman is guilty of DUI manslaughter. Now, both made it clear that it could well come down to what Goodman was doing in the hours leading up to the crash. That crash where Goodman's Bentley slammed into the car driven by Scott Wilson, sending it into a canal and killing him.
Evidence will be presented which will show beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was driving, that he was intoxicated, he was under the influence, he blew that stop sign at 63 miles an hour, he hit Scott Wilson, pushed that Hyundai across the street through the dirt, and it rolled into the canal upside down.
And when John Goodman went through that intersection, at the time of that collision on February 12th, he was not intoxicated, he was not impaired, he was not drunk, and this is not based on supposition or guesswork, as the state would have you believe, but based on evidence.
Now, Roy Black also said he'll be presenting evidence to show that John Goodman's Bentley malfunctioned that night, specifically the throttle in that car malfunctioned. Now, Ellen Roberts, the prosecutor, quickly retorted saying, hold on a minute, we have a mechanic that will testify that that's not the case. His car was working absolutely fine that night. You can see both directions that this case will take with regard to both attorneys here. I want to welcome in our legal analyst, Michelle Suskauer. Very interesting style here. You've got the famed Roy Black here, who's defended Rush Limbaugh and William Kennedy Smith, and then Ellen Roberts. She's a bulldog in the courtroom. You've had firsthand experience with Ellen Roberts trying cases in here. Talk about, is her reputation living up to what you expected?
Sure. Listen, she's very tough, and this is a case that she's been waiting to try because she's going to be retiring after this case, and so she's tough. She's direct. Matter of fact, she didn't hesitate in using a four-letter word this morning in her opening statements, relaying something that John Goodman allegedly said. She is not a shy, retiring flower at all. So very different style. But listen, Roy Black, no one to be messed with. He is a legend, and he came out really dukes up, ready to fight, and he's been very, very powerful and very effective today. Jurors have been paying attention.
Well, let's talk about the jurors now. You spent a lot of time in the courtroom today monitoring the body language, looking at the jurors. What are they doing? You mentioned they're taking notes, actually.
They are. Now, they don't have to, but they are. They've each been given a notepad, and I saw a lot of them taking notes, and they are really just enraptured with what's going on. No one is sleepy. Believe me, I've seen sleepy jurors before. Of course, no one falling asleep when I'm up there, right? But no one was sleeping. Everybody was very, very, just directed to what was going on, following every witness, taking notes down, and really paying attention when Roy Black was speaking.
Who had a better day, Roy Black or Ellen Roberts today?
Roy Black.
Mm-hmm.
He had a much better day because he got some good stuff out of these witnesses. Even though they're state witnesses, he got where he needed to go to establish that there is no way that John Goodman could have drank as many drinks as the state is alleging that he did and still walk out of there. A lot of fact witnesses who know John Goodman said he did not appear intoxicated at all.
A lot more testimony to come from two great lawyers there. Michelle, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Of course, more testimony to come. We're expecting 2 more days of witness testimony. Shannon, we'll toss it back to you in the studio.